Hi, my name is Nancy Solari, founder of Living Full Out. I've had many different careers over my path, but when I was in real estate and did that for 13 years as a top producer, it was during that time that my vision took their biggest jumps. I used to drive. I used to be able to see cracks in the foundation. I used to see the color of the walls. But every couple of years, when I was back in my 20s and 30s, that's when my vision was getting worse and most aggressively. And so I remember exactly the day when I had to give up driving. It was as if the lines on the road had disappeared. So I made the big decision. I put the keys in the car. I decided that was it. I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to accidentally hurt someone. Then I had to learn the bus system. This was before Ubers and Lyfts, right? It was cabs, walk, or bus. And I would take 2 to 12 buses in a day showing property. That's right. I would get there early. I would show the property, take my next bus. Oh, super long days. And then when I went to showings, I would memorize the steps. I would turn on every light possible. I would get there early. I would be ready to go. But as my vision got worse and I stopped driving, I had to still show properties. So I eventually hired an assistant and she drove. But she didn't work every day for me. So what happens when a client wants to see a property and it's a day my assistant wasn't working? Well, I had to get creative. And I also had to become very honest. So I remember one day, one of my very good clients, we had been looking for months for something. And it was just after I had given up driving. And it was a day that my assistant wasn't working. And he wanted me to go meet him at a property that was really far away. And I had to tell him, I have to share with you, there's been a change in my vision and I'm kind of behind the scenes having to make some big decisions. In fact, I recently gave up driving, but of course, my assistant and she was more than happy to take you around. I just scrambled with every explanation possible. And my client listened and didn't say anything. And then I stopped talking and he didn't say anything. I didn't know if that was the end of our relationship. I didn't know if he had already hung up and found a new realtor. I didn't know. But then he said, Nancy, don't you know me better than this by now? I'll drive. Huh. It's as easy as that? You're going to drive? Okay. Literally, he came, picked me up at my office. I worked at RE/MAX and he drove. And we went and looked at several properties that he wanted to see. And I got him in. I helped negotiate the contracts. It was great. And you know what? I learned something from that experience. I learned that on the days I didn't have my assistant, on the days that properties were far away, it was okay to ask my client if they wanted to drive. And honestly, it kind of became a new thing. My clients drove. In fact, sometimes that is the best way to get to know a neighborhood. Get lost in it, right? And so sometimes you have to get creative in life. Don't be scared. Don't hold back. Be vulnerable. Be honest, because people might just surprise you. They might step up and be a hero in your life. As always, here's to all of you living full out.